Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network for tonight's presentation of Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling, live from Philadelphia. And before we get into tonight's action, let me give you a few channel updates for those of you who are tuned in. Been off the channel for a couple of weeks. Last weekend was a wonderful time out in Denver at the Play.con get-together for enthusiasts of Keith Avalone and his Play.com gaming systems. And we got to see everything imaginable in the Play.com world. And now I am reading no data. Goodness gracious, I spent the whole day working on internet nonsense and seemed to be connected. And now we're back to excellent connection. So, as we were talking about, Play.con was a tremendous time. And if you're ever so inclined to head over to Denver for one of those weekends with Keith Avalone, it is magnificent. Things started off on Thursday night with a picnic, and I got to meet some of the greatest broadcasters in the history of YouTube. Steve Tower. After further review, I had my first face-to-face meeting with Steve Tower and in Denver. Also, the great Al Wilson got to meet for the first time face-to-face. And Keith Avalone I have met before, and some of the other Play.com dignitaries. Bob Hansen from Milwaukee was out there. Travis Jansen and Paul from Cleveland, Selsgaber, I believe is his last name. Got to make some new friends as well. And we've seen a lot of new additions to the Sports Simulations and Replays Facebook group this week from among the Play.com participants. On the tabletop, I got to play dodgeball for the very first time. And the dodgeball tournament was so much fun because the players in the tournament got to bling out their own teams. And so there was a Dunder Mifflin team that just stole the show. You had Pam out there running around, and Jim and Michael Scott and Kevin and all the Dunder Mifflin crew. Dwight Schutte was out there playing dodgeball against the cast of Scrubs and against some baseball all-stars and against a team of a bunch of guys named Roger who all had their names changed to Dodger. So you had Dodger Federer playing dodgeball. You had Dodger Bannister, the great mile runner, Dodger Staubach, and of course Dodger Clemens. And the highlight of the tournament for me was Dodger Clemens taking on Pam from Dunder Mifflin in dodgeball cutthroat competition. So a good time was had by all in the dodgeball tournament. Also got to see for the first time History Maker Baseball Express. And this is a fine, fine game. And I believe it's being released tomorrow, if I recall correctly. And I played a couple of games with the 1971 Cincinnati Reds, picked up a big victory over the Houston Astros and Billy Wagner when Lee May and Tony Perez came up with big ninth inning hits as the Reds had a 4-run rally and overcame a 2-run deficit to win that game over Billy Wagner and the Houston Astros. Also got to test for the first time Highlight Maker Hoops, which is the newest basketball version that is coming out from Play.com, and I am looking forward to this being released to the general public sometime in the very near future. And finally, had a golf tournament. Got to play some golf at Play.com. Never had to leave my chair. But a good time was had by all last weekend at Play.com. This coming week, I'll be traveling back to Ohio for a get-together with my family, so there will be no broadcasting next weekend on the channel. But I did want to get on with some Heartland Championship Wrestling here tonight. And we are coming to you from Philadelphia with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling. A few matches have already gone down here on in the dark matches. We opened the card with Pedro Morales getting a tough victory, hard-fought win over Frank Gotch. Morales with a big suplex after several outside-the-ring encounters. Then we saw a wild double disqualification in tag team action as Demolition and the team of Don Curtis and Mark Lewin battled it out to the double DQ. Brian Danielson got a submission victory over George Hackenschmidt by way of the crossface chicken wing. And right before we came to air, it was Joe Stecker getting the win over Bruno Sammartino by way of the body scissors. And now we are ready for tonight's action. The main event participants will be for the Patriot Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championship. The Wild Samoans, the longtime PCW Tag Team Champions, will be defending against a formidable team, the Australian duo of Al Costello and Roy Heffernan, collectively known as the Fabulous Kangaroos. We'll also see the North American Championship on the line as Gorgeous George will defend against Sputnik Monroe. And in our first televised contest, that is coming up now in singles competition. A card that I have been very excited to get onto the channel. Your opening contest of tonight's televised action is a singles competition, one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first from Russia, Moscow of the USSR. He is 5'11", 115 kilos. This is the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff. So Ivan Koloff moves out, and he will face a brand new revised card in the Filsinger Games universe out of Yokohama, Japan, 6'2", 225 pounds. This is from the Thagos Trez Hall of Fame Set 3, Antonio Inoki. And look at the gorgeous artwork on the brand new color version of the Inoki card, thanks to the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame. All right, so it will be Inoki versus Ivan Koloff to start things off here in Philadelphia. And the opening initiative role goes to Antonio Inoki. He will start things off. And it is Inoki starting things off with a big body slam. That's a power move. Koloff, the more powerful of the two men in this match, so Koloff will power his way out of the attempted body slam, and it is Koloff now in control. Koloff with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Inoki, and on a roll of 8, it is a big kick by Koloff that staggers Inoki. Koloff in control, now with a big leg drop. And Inoki goes down. Thought about rolling out of the ring, but he doesn't want to play out on the arena floor against a dangerous foe like Ivan Koloff. Koloff remains in control. Koloff now with a Russian backbreaker down hard across the knee. And Inoki remains in pain and down on the mat. So Koloff not impressed by the new artwork on the new color version of the Antonio Inoki card. And now it's Koloff with a falling face slam. And this time Inoki will roll out of the ring in an effort to gain some respite. But on a roll of 8, Inoki is going to have to make that helpless crawl back into the ring ahead of the 10 count where Koloff is waiting with malice in mind. And it is Koloff with another falling face slam. Inoki still down and still not able to get any offense going. And now it is Koloff who is going to pitch Inoki out of the ring against his will. And will he take the attack to the arena floor? Yes, he will. And on a roll of 5, on the out of the ring chart, that is Koloff coming out of the ring. And Inoki grabbing Koloff and smashing him onto the announcer's table at ringside. That is a potential disqualification move, but on a roll of 8, there will be no disqualification. And as action returns to the ring, it's now INOKI who is in control. INOKI with a sleeper. He's got the sleeper locked in. Will KOLOFF submit? The submission roll here is 3 or lower. But on a roll of 6, it is KOLOFF who powers his way out of the sleeper hold, but suffers the first point of fatigue of the match in so doing. INOKI now in control. He survived the opening onslaught by KOLOFF, and it is now INOKI on the offense, and he's going to keep after that sleeper hold. And now it is KOLOFF who is going to slide out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 5, this time it is a wild brawl, both men brawling on the arena floor. This could be a disqualification of one man or both. INOKI will not be disqualified on a roll of 6. KOLOFF on a roll of 3 may be disqualified. If it's a 5 or lower, he will be DQ'd, but on a roll of 9, the match will continue. Now we go to the odd even roll. On an even roll, the battle goes to INOKI, and on a roll of 1, it is KOLOFF who wins the brawl on the arena floor. And it is KOLOFF now with another Russian backbreaker, and INOKI is going to pick up a point of fatigue for that. His pin rating is only a 1, so there's no pinfall to roll there, but that does cost him a point of fatigue. And KOLOFF is now once again in control, and it is KOLOFF now who is going to attempt a knee drop. This is a choice G maneuver, and on the choice G we can either go death jump or we can go power, and KOLOFF will go power on a roll of 8 or lower, and on a roll of 7 he got him up and down hard with that knee drop. And INOKI now is going to roll out of the ring of his own accord. Not sure if that's a great idea, and on a roll of 8 INOKI is going to climb up onto the ring apron only to have KOLOFF knee INOKI in the gut and just shove INOKI back into the ring. KOLOFF in control. And KOLOFF now with a Russian sickle. He nails INOKI with a Russian sickle. He's going to go for a pin roll here on 4 or lower. But on a roll of 9, INOKI is able to get a leg over the bottom rope and the match continues. KOLOFF with that big Russian sickle has taken the measure of INOKI and taken control once again of this back and forth match. And now KOLOFF with another falling face slam. INOKI once again is going to leave the ring. Are we going to see some ringside mayhem? On a roll of 10, we go to the out of the ring mayhem chart. All right, here is the out of the ring again chart. And on a roll of 10, it is ringside mayhem. And we'll put one die here that we've been on the mayhem chart once. We may go there again. Let's see what is going to happen with ringside mayhem. The roll is 4, and that is tables. So what is going to happen with the tables here? On a roll of 3, the table is set up on the arena floor, but both wrestlers have returned to the ring to beat the 10 count. And now there's going to be a gut check roll to see who gets the initiative. The table has been set up, but in order to beat the 10 count, both men had to roll back into the ring. And it is a the death jump roll or the gut check roll is even. And that means the initiative will go back to the wrestler on offense, who was Ivan Koloff. And KOLOFF now is going to throw him right back out of the ring again. So now on 2 to 8, we will go, or on 8 to 12, we'll go back out of the ring. And here we go again, back out to the arena floor. And they're going to try for that table smash. Once again, it is a gut check roll, and it is KOLOFF who wins the gut check roll. And power bombs INOKI through the ringside table. He may be disqualified for that power bomb through the table. There's one roll. And on a roll of 6, he just escapes disqualification. INOKI picks up a point of fatigue. and will have to roll a count out. On a roll of 4 or lower, INOKI will be counted out. On a roll of 6, he does make it back into the ring, where KOLOFF is waiting once again. And now KOLOFF with a big double stomp. Just stomping away at INOKI as INOKI crawls back into the ring. He's already been put through a table. And now another leg drop from KOLOFF has stunned INOKI. KOLOFF keeping on the attack, straddling the ropes and just choking INOKI down. And INOKI has had enough. The referee breaks up that choke on the ropes. INOKI gets to his feet. INOKI just turns and grabs KOLOFF by the arm, whipped to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes KOLOFF. And on a roll of 6, it is KOLOFF who lifts a knee to the head of INOKI. INOKI is stunned, and KOLOFF once again is in control. Boy, everybody loves Antonio INOKI, but let's not forget Ivan Koloff, a former WWF heavyweight champion. He knows what he is doing in that ring, and now he goes to the Russian hammer and just hammers away on INOKI. INOKI once again is on the receiving end of a beatdown as another choke on the ropes by KOLOFF, and now a kick to the ribs, vicious kick to the ribs by Ivan Koloff. He is all over INOKI, and now a headbutt has INOKI dazed. KOLOFF follows that up with a big body slam down to the canvas hard. INOKI up to one knee, tries for a single leg takedown, and INOKI manages to get KOLOFF down to the mat. Both men get to their feet. And as they get to their feet, it is a hammerlock applied by INOKI. KOLOFF to his feet. INOKI working that hammerlock. And he takes him over and down with a nice arm breaker. KOLOFF now down as INOKI has got some counter wrestling going here. And now a jumping stomp by Antonio INOKI. This is a choice C maneuver. He is going to need a roll of 8 or lower to get that done. And he gets that done. And he has got KOLOFF down. KOLOFF down now after the big jumping stomp by INOKI. INOKI now is going to go up for a death jump. INOKI going up top. And on a roll of 7, he nails KOLOFF with a flying clothesline off of the top rope. And INOKI now is in control. He goes to the Cobra Twist. That painful neck submission maneuver. And he is going to try and gain a submission here on a roll of 4 or lower. And on a roll of 7, KOLOFF is able to power his way out. And the match continues, but this is closely fought on both men's accounts. And Antonio INOKI still in control. He goes to the sleeper hold. And KOLOFF is out of the ring. KOLOFF slips out of the ring. And on the arena floor on a roll of 10, it is INOKI coming out of the ring and trying to hit KOLOFF with a steel chair. There's one disqualification roll. On another roll of 5 or lower, INOKI will be disqualified, but on a roll of 7, the match will continue after INOKI just waffled KOLOFF with a steel chair. Back into the ring. And INOKI now hits the enziguri. That's his finisher. That's a +2. The pin roll here is 7 or lower. And on a roll of 10, KOLOFF kicks out. The match continues. KOLOFF survives the enziguri as the pummeling between these two men continues. And now INOKI wraps up a bow and arrow hold. Painful submission hold. KOLOFF will not submit, but he is down. Back to the sleeper hold. And KOLOFF once again leaves the ring. And we will not see any shenanigans this time on the arena floor. But on a roll of 6, it is KOLOFF who wins the brawl on the arena floor. He will not be disqualified as action returns to the ring now. KOLOFF is going to go to the Russian sickle once again. And now the pin roll is 6 or lower. And on a roll of 7, INOKI just got the shoulder up. What a match we are seeing here tonight. INOKI has survived the Russian sickle twice. And now a double stomp. Nasty double stomp from KOLOFF. INOKI slowly tries to get to his feet. A leg drop from KOLOFF. Puts INOKI back down to the canvas. INOKI slowly gets to his feet. KOLOFF grabs him by the arm. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes INOKI. And he bounces off the turnbuckle and Koloff nails him with an incredible neck-breaking clothesline. INOKI is down. Koloff in control once again. And another falling face slam. INOKI down to the mat hard. INOKI is in trouble here, as Koloff is going to throw him out of the ring once again. Will we see shenanigans? Yes, we will. And this time it is going to be on a roll of 11 plus 2 for the previous forays onto the out of the ring again chart. This match is going out into the crowd, and this match is going to be declared a double countout. INOKI and Koloff battle to a wild double countout. Neither man is able to get the victory over the other, but let's see what happens as the brawl goes on to the arena floor. This is going to be another gut check roll, and both men are at equal numbers on the gut check. The gut check roll once again incorporates both the fatigue and the cage ratings. INOKI has a cage rating of 2, plus 4 makes him a minus 6 on the gut check roll. Koloff has a cage rating of 3, minus his 3 fatigue tokens is also a minus 6. And so the gut check roll is won this time by INOKI. INOKI wins the gut check roll. He wins the brawl on the arena floor. We may see some injuries here as both men are counted out, and INOKI wins the brawl on the arena floor. And we'll have to get some updates as these men are being escorted back to the dressing room. Koloff appears to have been busted open as he comes after INOKI with the chain, but INOKI steals the Russian chain and gives Koloff a wallop as they battle their way back to the dressing room area. So wild, wild action in the opening television contest here tonight, as INOKI and Koloff couldn't decide anything other than the fact that they want to both get another piece of each other. And we will see a no disqualification grudge match between these two on a future show. All right, a great opening match between INOKI and Koloff, as INOKI came in with a big reputation, the new art, the new color card, but Koloff wasn't going to take a step back from anybody. And the battle just got out of control and ended in a double countout. All right, sports fans, the next contest is our first championship match of the night. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with no disqualification and no time limit. It is for the North American Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. He is 5'10", 235 pounds, out of Dodge City, Kansas. One of the newest additions to the Filsinger Games universe. This is SPUTNIK MONROE. So SPUTNIK MONROE is going to be challenging for the North American Heavyweight Championship. His opponent is your reigning and defending North American Heavyweight Champion, 5'9", 220 pounds, out of Hollywood, California. He is accompanied to the ring by Sherry Dupree. This is Gorgeous George. All right, Gorgeous George and SPUTNIK MONROE, heel versus heel, in a battle for the North American Heavyweight Championship. And we will use our championship dice for this matchup. And the opening initiative roll is won by the champion, Gorgeous George. As they come together, it is an attempted body slam by Gorgeous George. That's a power move, and the power move goes to SPUTNIK MONROE. As we say hello to, once again, Cleveland baseball fan. Thanks for coming in. Joseph Colella joins us in the chat room, and as does Joseph Hinkle. So a couple of Josephs. Not your average Joes, but very special Joes, Mr. Colella and Mr. Hinkle, and of course our good friend Cleveland baseball fan. SPUTNIK MONROE with the initiative as the wrestlers come together, and he is just going to start choking Gorgeous George on the ropes. The referee puts on the count and forces the hold to be broken. But Sputnik is not taking any prisoners here. He delivers some clubbing blows to the back of Gorgeous George. And finally, George retaliates and turns around and just slaps Sputnik Monroe across the face. Goodness gracious, these two already don't like each other. Gorgeous George now is going to try for the hammerlock. This is a choice F maneuver, meaning that he is going to require a roll of 7 or lower to get that done. And on a roll of 6, he does indeed accomplish the, where was I? The hammerlock. Yeah, indeed he accomplishes the hammerlock, and Sputnik Monroe is hurt. Sorry, lost my place there for a moment. Here's Gorgeous George with the snapmare, taking Sputnik Monroe back down to the mat as Jim Connell has joined us now at ringside. Here's Gorgeous George with a fingernail rake. That is nasty. And Sputnik Monroe is not going to stand for that. Sputnik comes back with a waistlock takedown and drops Gorgeous George onto the canvas. Both men get back to their feet. They come together in the center of the ring, and now it is Sherry Dupree from outside the ring who grabs the leg of Sputnik Monroe and distracts him, and that allows Gorgeous George to get in a free shot. And it is Gorgeous George who goes to the Gorgeous Grip, that painful submission-style maneuver. He's got Monroe down to his knees now, and now it is a death jump coming from Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George going up to the top turnbuckle. He's ready to fly. And on a roll of 7, he nails Sputnik Monroe with a flying clothesline. Gorgeous George follows that up. He is not going to let Sputnik escape the ring. Instead, George is going to go back to that Gorgeous Grip. He's trying for the submission here on a roll of 3 or lower. And on a roll of 4, Sputnik just gets out. Almost had to submit to that Gorgeous Grip. What's George going to do now? He goes for the spinning toe hold. That's his finisher. It's a +1 finisher. So the submission hold will be on a 5 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Sputnik is able to work his way to the bottom rope. But Sputnik is in trouble here as Gorgeous George has taken control. George now with a figure 4 leg lock. Sputnik still suffering the effects of that spinning toe hold. Gorgeous George continuing to work the legs. And now George goes back to the spinning toe hold. The submission roll now is 6 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Sputnik just escapes. Sputnik Monroe in trouble here as Gorgeous George has got all of his offense cooking. And now Gorgeous George with the rolling hip lock. Another submission move. Again, the roll is 6 or lower for the submission. And another roll of 7, and Sputnik escapes once again. Gorgeous George with double finishers, the rolling hip locks and the spinning toe hold, has taken control of this one. And now he goes to a small package with the tights. And Sputnik kicks right out of that one. George being admonished by the referee for his dirty tactics. But undaunted, he takes Sputnik Monroe and tries to get him over with a snapmare. Sputnik blocks that one. And Sputnik comes back and just starts choking Gorgeous George on the ropes once again. Dirty tactics by both these men. Outside interference. Choking one another on the ropes. Sputnik now in control. Sputnik with a big body slam. Puts George down to the canvas. Both men getting to their feet. They come together. And Gorgeous George is going to try for the headlock takedown. This is a choice B maneuver. So he can hit that on a roll of 9 or lower. And on a roll of 8, he got him over. And Sputnik Monroe goes down. Sputnik slow to get back to his feet. George with another snapmare puts Monroe back down onto the canvas. George follows that up with another interference by Sherry Dupree at ringside. Once again, Sputnik was trying to get after Gorgeous George, and Sherry came up onto the ring apron and distracted him. George with an opportunity now at a cheap shot, and he's got him in the rolling hip lock once again. The submission rating here is 7 or lower, and on a roll of 7, he got him. My goodness, what a set of dirty tactics by Gorgeous George to get the win over Sputnik Monroe. by way of the rolling hip lock, but it was really the interference from the outside by Sherry Dupree that made all the difference in that match, as she got involved on multiple occasions, helping her man, Gorgeous George, successfully defend the North American Championship here tonight in Philadelphia. Got a few Gorgeous George anecdotes from Jim Connell in the chat room. That's a name from the past. I remember hearing my mom and dad mention that name. Supposedly my baby picture had a curl. And my folks used to call me Gorgeous George when I was very small. And Al Red Sox fan now joins us in the chat room. Hello to you, Al. Gosh, it was fun to hang out with Al and my good friend Todd Jorshell in Al's chat room on Friday night, talking about these magnificent Filsinger Games cards. Gorgeous George, Sherry Dupree, now Sputnik Monroe, part of the Filsinger Games universe. And thank you, Al, for hosting that chat. And I have played a number of wrestling games in my day, both tabletop and computerized. And to this day, Legends of Wrestling is far and above my favorite. And one of the things I wanted to bring up in the chat the other night, and we just didn't get to it, but the thing I love about Legends of Wrestling is the immense respect that is shown to the history of the sport of professional wrestling. You may or may not be a fan of the competitive or not competitive elements of professional wrestling, but it's a sport with a rich history. It is a sport with a rich history of very colorful characters like a Gorgeous George, like a Sputnik Monroe. And when you see this beautiful artwork that Werner Meek provides, and you see the research that goes into the rolling hip locks and the spinning toe holds and the signature moves that each of these men used, it's just a thing of beauty with wonderful gameplay and wonderful reverence paid to the history of the sport of professional wrestling. All right, that brings us, fans, to our main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. And this should be a good one. Introducing first the challengers. Coming to you from Sydney, Australia at a total combined weight of 465 pounds, it is Al Costello and Roy Heffernan, collectively known as the Fabulous Kangaroos. And this is one fine, historically significant tag team. So they are coming to the Patriot Championship Wrestling, and they're coming after the tag belts. And their opponents are your reigning and defending Patriot Tag Team Champions from the Isle of Samoa. At a total combined weight of 616 pounds, it is Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans. So it will be the Samoans versus the Kangaroos for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. This should be a fine match indeed. And the competitors are in the ring and ready for action. It will be Afa starting the match for the Samoans against Roy Heffernan for the Kangaroos. These two men squaring off against each other, coming in with respect and caution, and it is Heffernan who is going to take the advantage on the opening initiative roll, and he's going to try and catch Afa in a grinding headlock. But Afa's not going to have any of that. And Afa responds with an attempt at a back elbow smash. That's an agility move, so Heffernan ducks out of the way of that elbow smash. And it is Heffernan who nails Afa with a kangaroo kick. And he's going to go for the pin. The pin roll is 4 or lower. Can he score the quick pinfall victory? But on a roll of 7, Afa quickly kicks out. And just like that, in a flash, the Kangaroos, with that kangaroo kick, have taken control. And now it's going to be a surfboard attempted by Roy Heffernan. This is a choice F maneuver. And that means it is going to require a roll of 9 or lower to successfully execute the surfboard. And on a roll of 3, he gets the surfboard hold into place. But Afa gets to his feet. He gets the level 2 reversal. And it is Afa now with a face ripper just tearing at the eyes of Heffernan. Heffernan not happy about that. Can he get over for a tag? Yes, he can. So Costello tags into the mat. Afa is going to tag in Sika. And now it will be Sika and Costello squaring off in the center of the ring. It's Costello with the initiative. And it is Costello who's going to try that same surfboard style maneuver. It's going to take 9 or lower to execute this on Afa, and on a roll of 9, he got it. And this is a possible submission. On 3 or lower, we'll see a submission here. But Sika is able to get out of the surfboard hold. But these kangaroos very quickly are showing their technical skills in that ring and taking control of this match, having put submission predicaments on both of the champions here in the early going. And now Costello with a big Aussie suplex, and that is going to send Sika rolling out of the ring to the arena floor. This is not a place where the kangaroos want to play, but on a roll of 11, for Sika, the opponent comes out of the ring and tries to smack you with an object like a steel chair. The referee comes out and warns Costello to stop with that. Maybe Costello is using one of those Australian boomerangs to put a little whooping on Sika. Will we see a disqualification here? No. And the action returns to the ring with Costello in control. And now the Kangaroos are going to try for their tag team boomerang finisher. A double submission hold applied. The submission roll here is 7 or lower. This is a +3 tag finisher. So Afa is going to have to come in and attempt the pin save. And on a roll of 9, Afa cannot make the pin save. So now on a roll of 7 or lower, we're going to see a submission here. And on a roll of 10, Sika is able to escape. Wow. That was a near title change right here in Philadelphia that early in the match after that double team boomerang hold applied to Sika. Heffernan now the legal man in the ring. What's he going to do? He is going to go for another double team from outside the ring as Costello's going to get another shot in. Sika slow to get to his feet. And now a double leg Nelson attempted by Heffernan, but he can't get him over. And Sika takes control and is Sika with a shoulder block that knocks Heffernan off balance and sends him tumbling. Heffernan, can he make the tag? He cannot. Sika tags into his partner Afa, and Afa comes in control. Afa is going to go for a series of pectoral chops. This is a choice B maneuver. We can do agility, which is -2, or a whip to the turnbuckle. So we'll go with the whip to the turnbuckle. Afa with a whip to the turnbuckle, and off the turnbuckle comes Heffernan, and Afa hits him with a big kick, and Afa takes control. Afa now with another face ripper on Heffernan. They may not win the match, but they're going to try and disfigure these challengers. Heffernan cannot get over and make the tag. Afa comes back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Heffernan. And on a roll of 7, he bounces down, and Heffernan coming back off the other way. And this time on a roll of 8, it is a big shoulder tackle by Afa that puts Heffernan down to the canvas. Afa now in control. Afa with is just going to bite Heffernan on the forehead. Heffernan's had about enough of that. Heffernan retaliates. Heffernan just rakes the eyes of Afa on the top ring rope. These two throwing some dirty tactics back and forth. Afa now tags in Sika. Sika into the match. Sika with an overhead chop. Sika with a double chop to the neck. Heffernan fires back with a snapmare that takes Sika down to the mat. Sika not able to make a tag. As Heffernan comes back with a pummeling double team tight move. Both men, as Sika is whipped to the corner, Heffernan and Costello both getting their shots in. More double teaming. And now we're going to see a tag and a legitimate double team move as the Kangaroos are in the match, and on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker on Sika that keeps the Kangaroos in control. Boy, the Kangaroos have controlled the tempo of this match for about 80% of the length of time. And now here is a leg lock applied by Costello. Another submission move. The submission here is 5 or lower. So Afa once again is going to try the pin save, and on a roll of 8 is unable to get there. So on a roll of 5 or lower, we will have a submission. But on a roll of 8, Sika once again recovers and is able to get out of the leg lock. But now the Samoans have used all of their pin save attempts. Costello continues on the attack. Costello with another boomerang. This is a +3 finisher, so on a 9 or lower, we've got new champions. And on a roll of 9, he got him. New champions crowned here in Philadelphia. A nearly flawless victory by the Kangaroos, as Al Costello with the boomerang has put an end to Sika, and the Kangaroos have captured the Patriot Tag Team Championship. Congratulations to the fabulous Kangaroos, Al Costello, Roy Heffernan, for winning the Patriot Tag Team Championship. This was one of the very early teams that were signed to the Legends of Wrestling universe all the way back in 2006. And now they have come to Patriot Championship Wrestling, and they have defeated the Wild Samoans to become your new Patriot Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to Al Costello and Roy Heffernan as the show closes with new Tag Team Champions being crowned. As Al Red Sox fan says, the Roos are hopping for joy. I see what you did there, Al. New champions crowned here in Philadelphia. Congratulations to the fabulous Kangaroos. Also, congratulations to Gorgeous George for a successful defense of the North American Heavyweight Championship. And of course, we saw a very exciting double count-out brawl between Antonio INOKI and Ivan Koloff, with implications for a future grudge match to take place between those two men. All right, thank you to everybody who checked things out here tonight. Al Red Sox fan, Cleveland baseball fan 879, Jim Connell, Joseph Hinkle, Joseph Colella, a great cast of attendees here tonight in Philadelphia for this presentation from Heartland Championship Wrestling. Once again, there will be no action on the channel next weekend, as I will be in Ohio with my extended family, my sisters. My wife's niece is getting married on Saturday, so we've got all kinds of fun things planned for our trip to Ohio. But 2 weeks from now, we will be back. And Saturday, August 20th, will be the Heartland Championship Wrestling pay-per-view broadcast. Heartland Havoc 110, big money, and it will be the championship, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in the main event, as the champion Vader defends against Jack Briscoe. The New Age Outlaws, the World Tag Team Champions, will defend against the Steiners. Ed Strangler Lewis will defend the Patriot Heavyweight Championship against superstar Billy Graham. And of course, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard will take on Magnum TA and a mystery partner in a tag team grudge match 2 weeks from now in Montreal, the next time Heartland Championship Wrestling hits the airwaves. So thank you to everybody who checked things out tonight. We are signing out now. This is Dave Little signing out from the Dave Cave. That's our stream, and I am out of here.